that's kind of one of those situations of nostalgia, right? But I'd love to know your thoughts in the comments section below about everything we discussed here today.
And that's exactly what I'm gonna do, except in video form. Before we start, I just want to say to you guys, please don't send hate to this lovely lad Prestige. He's a cool dude, and there's just some opinions that I may not agree with at times. And Prestige, if you're here watching this, I want you to comment in the comment section below and give your thoughts on my suggestions. It would be really awesome to have a conversation. Again, lovely dude and an excellent content creator. He's almost always bursting with positivity and excitement. So without further ado, my name is Mattsuki, and here we go. Time to rant. So Prestige made a commentary a little while ago about a World at War strategy guide that he picked up. Link to it will be down in the description as usual. But what ticked me the wrong way was his bias for Treyarch Call of Duties, and how he literally describes nostalgia but can't quite put his finger on it and just say that it's nostalgia that he's feeling. Plus just how he thinks that we, today, are too entitled. Because of what he was satisfied with, I guess, back in the good old days when he was a kid.
World at War was one of my favorite games, and it was probably the game that cemented my love for Treyarch.
Keyword, cemented.
I wanted to relive some of the memories that I had with this game.
Nostalgia.
World at War being my first game. I didn't actually own it at first. My cousin had it and I played it at his house a couple times, and then I'd went over to my friend's house and he had it and I started playing it over there.
Hey, that's kind of similar to me. When I was a kid, I actually went over to my friend's house and he had Modern Warfare 3, and that's how I got into Call of Duty.
I could just pick up the game and go play it, but it's not the same.
Nostalgia.
Is picking up a strategy guide and looking at it, literally frozen in time, capturing the game as it was back in the past, and looking at that, it makes me smile.
Okay, I think you guys get it. Nostalgia is a sentimental longing or wistful attention for the past, typically for a period or place with happy personal associations. So yes, this is a nitpick of mine. It really isn't that bad, but I will get into a little bit more worse stuff later. But the thing is with his nostalgia is that he desperately doesn't want to admit it as fact, I guess. It's okay to admit nostalgia, guys, but we should actively try and think critically about things too. Prestige talks about how when he was in school he'd think about World at War and what he'd do on the game once he got back home. He also wonders what his child is going to do when he's at school too. Like, is he also going to daydream about World at War, or maybe perhaps Minecraft, finishing a castle, or any other build? But what he doesn't seem to quite connect here is that it's a quite common thing for kids at in a young grade actually, or in grade 12 to do. School sucks, man. Homework can stack, the classes can be extremely boring, and yes, spoiler, that was actually me in my generation. I wanted to get home and make Minecraft builds. I wasn't actually a fan of the survival aspect of Minecraft, to be honest. I hated creepers. I'll leave it at that. But yeah, I also recently got back into Minecraft due to an old friend of mine in his Discord group. He goes by the name of Mr. That One Duck. Him and his group are about like 2 to 4 years younger than me, and I really have noticed the difference between our generations and how we enjoy Minecraft. So yeah, Mr. That One Duck and I used to hang out before and after school when I was in middle school. It's a little complicated situation, so I won't get into it. But yeah, we would play split screen, or when he was gone, I'd just play by myself. We basically had to go to each other's houses if we wanted to play with each other. But now, in our Discord group in the present day, we look forward to playing on Realms. If you don't know what Realms are, they're basically a newer personal server that you can pay for, like a subscription. You don't even have to wait for your friends to get online so you can play on the Realm world. Brilliant, isn't it? I didn't even have a good internet connection when I was younger, so playing online generally wasn't a great option for me or a lot of other people at my school. But the point is, yes, those of us bored at school or work are most likely going to occupy ourselves, whether it be with games, family activities, or even watching a football game later on TV in the evening. Perhaps I got a little sidetracked here, but what I wanted to say is, you can enjoy a game the first time you play it. Like, you can really enjoy it. But yeah, here's a game I had when I was a kid that I kind of feel a little bit nostalgic for. It's called Cats, if I can get it out. Yes, there we go. Cats. So yeah, you feed your cat, you can play with them, you can breed, I'm pretty sure, and name them, of course. Take them to the park. But yeah, it's kind of repetitive. Look at this. I could put a sweater on my cat. Look at that. Aw, because Sonic, do what? They're not happy with each other, or towards each other. Yeah, it's an interesting game, right? Hi, buddy. What's up? Pet. Aw, he's sad. He's probably wanting some food. So yeah, it's just a pretty repetitive cycle, I guess. You get a new cat, and yeah. But of course, there are some funny moments that I also deem memorable. He's literally walking into the wall! Bruh! But yeah, how does a blocky game like Minecraft grab players' attention? How does it keep the old players who are used to the standard Minecraft experience? Well, adding new mobs, like the Drowned, force you to play a game a little bit differently. You gotta watch out for the mobs underwater now. Also Realms! It reinvented socializing with your friends. Call of Duty introduced crossplay, which is nice and all, but we already had the ability to interact with other players. It wasn't a huge leap, but, I mean, it was new a year ago, too. What's new this year? A return to the 80s era? Not even that. And I'll admit that it is a little saddening to see you, Prestige, down in the dumps, when you always sound so thrilled and excited for the future of COD. But my question is, what future is there for COD if you, like, all you want is to relive the old CODs? I'm sorry, but I do find that mentality a bit destructive for COD. It's especially shown through Cold War. Like, seriously, some maps like Express don't even play that nicely with Cold War's pace, movement, and ideal time to kill. Like, the M16 negates it totally, even at long ranges. Oh, and Prestige mentions that, like, he loves the way Treyarch handled World at War. But I didn't hear any reasons as to why, other than being a kid and just wanting to play a new game. Like, I'd love to hear some of the meat and potatoes of what your love boils down to. Okay, and maybe you did think it was all due to nostalgia, but why are we acting like it's our fault? You mentioned a comparison that I thought was quite interesting, like how we might not enjoy a movie or TV show series that we did enjoy as a kid, but then you suppose that it might be the same case for COD. I agree, but that's due to time and aging as well. It isn't our fault that a movie or TV show was directed towards a younger audience. But like, again, I want an example of this. I still love rewatching movies that I enjoyed as a kid, like Brother Bear, Treasure Planet, All Dogs Go to Heaven, and a Bolt. What I still enjoy is the characters and their relationships they have. There's something I've always longed for. Then again, you got over 60 days on your first COD and I only got 7.5, so honestly, I don't know what to tell you, man. Maybe you're just burnt out and you just have gotten past the stage of learning a new game that your friends are into. Maybe Cold War didn't bring anything new to the table. We still have a slide mechanic that isn't that useful. We still have boots on the ground combat that feels a little bit stiffer than it usually does. And for me though, most of my favorite movies didn't lose their charms. Ones that did are ones that I was too young to understand and think critically about. With my first COD, Modern Warfare 3, I still love a lot of the maps in that game, but it isn't my favorite COD anymore. Infinite Warfare is. I went into it mid-February in 2017 thinking it would be the pile of shit that absolutely everyone was making it out to be. But oh man, the hate was overdone. And I found a few nice communities that also enjoyed the game like I did. To name a few, Payjazz and No More Armed Missiles. But yeah, not only IW surprised me with all 3 game modes, but it also has a very special place in my heart, because I felt like I was valued as a consumer. I'll make a video glorifying it one of these days, but I'm not gonna get any more gushy over it today. But yeah, I played IW and BO3 during the same year, IW alone, and BO3 with 3 of my other friends at the time. You know how Modern Warfare Remastered released with IW as well? Yeah, I really hated that game. That'll be my unexplained based opinion for this video. But Prestige, buddy, we had COD World War II after, and you said this?
I just think to myself, am I the asshole? Am I the ungrateful asshole that just sits here and complains that there's nothing to do? When in reality, there's probably plenty to do and I'm just not seeing it anymore? Was simplicity better?
I say no because if there was like a third brother to World at War and COD 4, and it released today, you probably wouldn't buy it, so you could send a message to Activision that you don't want that quality of content. And the thing is, We want COD to thrive, right? We want it to grow, and we want it to see it better. But Activision wants to release a COD title every single year. I think we can agree that 9 maps gets pretty repetitive within the first month or two, especially if most are very simplistic. But we the consumers need to buy the next game if we want new content. I don't think it's entitlement or being an ungrateful asshole, as the way you put it. But the standards have risen, along with the game's prices and microtransaction prices. You only had to spend a couple bucks to unlock Simon Ghost Riley in COD Ghosts, but now he's 2,400 COD points regardless of owning the $90 Canadian Modern Warfare 2019 COD, or downloading the free-to-play Warzone. It's 2,400 COD points across the board. Alright, let's go back to where you asked, was simplicity better? Well, COD World War II was hella marketed for the OGs that still played COD. Or at least it was marketed to bring back the players who dropped out during the Advanced Movement era. World War II even had similar movement to the one and only Black Ops 2. Only difference there was like more colorful but simplistic 6v6 maps, a new war mode, and even more simplistic crit classes. But guess what people didn't like? Yeah, Sledgehammer Games heard the complaints and had to loosen up the restrictions on their new division-oriented crit class. The game also launched with only 9 6v6 maps, which was the lowest count it had ever been at launch. War mode wasn't actually very popular with a loud Twitter crowd, despite you and I probably playing and enjoying it, right? But yeah, people were disappointed with 9 maps, and they also weren't too happy to find out that the War Mode DLC maps were replacing one of the 66 maps each map pack drop. I don't think World War II is lacking on the grindable side of it. Like, the collections had a lot to do, which was fantastic. And like, I don't know about you, but I was very much disappointed with the simplistic majority of the 6v6 maps. A lot felt the same and inevitably just got very boring for me. Of course, there wasn't any double jumping, but there also wasn't even a sliding mechanic, meaning the replayability of a map, like Ardene's Forest was very low. Although, I will say, all the DLC maps, excluding Shipment 1944, were very interesting, and maybe come back for more. So the decline in content has made a portion of the COD community unhappy. Not only that, but Cold War costs an extra $10 on next gen, and it doesn't give us a graphical improvement or increase to its amount of content compared to the previous titles. Recent previous titles. They gave us 8 6v6 maps at launch, and now 6 months later we only got 4 new maps, which brings the total count up to 12. If we look at reskins, we got Nuketown, which is a desert hippie theme now. And then the worst part about it is that we got remasters of Raid Express and soon Outlaw 2. The thing is about remasters is that they don't add personality to the game. They just stole nostalgia from BO2 and mailed it to us in a new gift box, I guess you could say. At least with the reskins, they give us different vibes. This one right here gives me Infinite Warfare vibes. This one gives me World War II vibes. And then the original gives me Modern Warfare 3 vibes. And it's not just the graphics, it's how they look. They look different. Usually when you buy recycled content, it costs less than the new. But that wasn't the case for the Black Ops Pass, or the game called Black Ops Cold War. When was it the case, you may ask? Modern Warfare Remastered, I guess. Instead of the $60 Canadian game, we got it only $40. But yeah, prestige. I don't think that we are negatively entitled. These games still cost us a full $90 Canadian or 60 USD. I think we deserve a full experience if we are paying for a full price of a AAA game. A good example I could think of is ordering french fries from a fast food place. You've ordered here for years, and you've bought these french fries and they just taste so delicious with your teen burger and root beer soda pop. But all of a sudden, the fries, they taste different. The perfect seasoning is just gone. You paid for these fries. You don't really like them anymore. But what can you do? Well, you could not buy them again, or you could write a feud review. I don't think there's anything wrong with that. Should you not be able to write your thoughts are? Like, I don't think so. It's your opinion. At least the producers, or chefs in this case, can hear it. And change it if need be. That about wraps it up. I hope you guys maybe learned something. These commentary videos are a little bit new, so I hope you enjoyed. We're also like really close to 300 subscribers too, so I just want to say thanks to anyone who subscribed, and I'm glad I could be entertaining. I guess my parting words to Prestige are keep up the grind, man, but like, please drop the whole in Treyarch we trust act. It just sounds like you're part of a cult and the phrase just deflects all criticism. That's all. Peace out, homies.